I want to talk a little bit about this Ring of Fire area. Just imagine you see the Pacific Ocean. If you can imagine, or if you want to yourself, put up a map of the Pacific Ocean, and you can see there's a fault line that goes all around this area. You can start anywhere. I'll just start, like, say, in South America, very south, yeah, Peru, Chile, way down there, and staying on the west coast, going up into Central America, Mexico, Western America, Western Canada, Southern Alaska, going over towards Russia, Japan, all these Asian islands, the Philippines, and then coming back eastward towards New Guinea, then over near New Zealand. This is a really big area. See, these tectonic plates are really loose in this area. There's always movement there. Some of these fault lines, sometimes in certain locations, they go inwards into the land that's near them. So it's also dangerous too. Like in America, the San Andreas Fault is related to this. And then even in far as into Utah, there's one, the western edge of the Rocky Mountains, they call it the Wasatch Front. The scientists in that area are saying that that area is long overdue for a major earthquake. And people thought it would happen in the 1990s, but it didn't. So they're still expecting it. The big buildings are built for this event to happen. No kidding. A lot of the buildings are built for this event to happen. They're waiting for it to happen. And one of these days it will, yeah? So one of these days in the news you will hear major earthquake in Utah, and Salt Lake City and Provo, Utah, probably take a major hit. That's coming. Anywho, this whole area is always really active. There's people who say that there was a continent that used to be there inside this ring of fire. They called it Lemuria. And allegedly, there is a place in India or Tibet. It's in monasteries. You know, they have libraries that are really off limits, but I think you can get permission to look at things in there. And there's materials in there. Supposedly, this library contains maps that are thousands of years old. And some of these maps show the entire world. So it indicates that people traveled quite a bit long time ago, before Europeans got the idea that maybe the world is round after all. And some of these maps show a big continent in the Pacific Ocean. And the stories that are in this library state that the activity was really bad. They say that the people were living selfishly, so that's why the land was going to sink into the water. And so it sank, and the continent just went into the ocean. I mean, it just didn't go, okay, not like that. It was a slow process. It probably happened over thousands of years. Then it probably got smaller and smaller and smaller until finally there's just nothing there. So people fled. Of course, they had time to leave, and some people went west, some people went east. So that means some of these people on this continent went towards North America, and other ones went towards Asia. Same group of people. So we have these people coming into these lands, and there's already people in North America, there's already people in Asia. So there probably was conflict, there probably was peace, and there probably was intermarriage. So this probably explains our connection to Asian people. That's why I said I only partially agree with the Bering Strait theory, because I think there's more than just that. And I think this is one of the other things, is that a group was on this continent, and when that continent went to the Pacific, sank into the Pacific, then one group comes to North America, the others go towards Asia. So there's one connection. Then later Bering Strait happens, and that's another connection. We are not all Asian. We have an influence. But see, we were already in these lands. See, Lakota Star Knowledge says that in the beginning there's only one land. That's saying there's only one continent. And that people came from 5 different locations around the same time. They didn't all appear at once. Yeah, they come on the earth at different locations and different times. And as they interact with each other, some people hook up together and they start roaming. And this happens over hundreds of thousands of years, and some go more north, some go more south, and as they settle in these areas, their skin color changes, their hair texture and eye colors change. Their bodies are adapting to the environment, their ecosystem that they live in. And so they're all over the place. Yeah, and then the story says that people became dualistic, and that set off like a big domino setup. That things just kept falling. One thing corrupts the next thing, so to speak. And people find a way to create a society to control them and to create something that the society needs to exist. And that the people who have more of this thing are the ones who are controlling the people, the government. And then they try to control the earth. They try to manipulate the earth. That means the weather, so that it will only rain in certain parts of the land and other parts it won't. And so they're trying to do this so that certain lands will produce more food, and from that they can then force other people to buy that. So this creates something not good, and it puts certain people above other people, and this manipulation of the earth, it backfires, and it triggers things to happen. And so the earth says, enough of this, and she calls all her children to safety. And they're all different places, because it's all over this giant continent. Some places are in the hill, some are in the prairie, but she tells them where to go for safety. The only people who hear that instruction are those people who live in peace, the ways that I talked about on this show, the foundation to the show. Those are the only people who thought like that. Those are the only people who heard the instruction where to go. And everybody else was destroyed because of their duality. And when this cleansing was over, this continent was broken up into what it looks like today. And this is in our stories. So there's a pattern there.
So it's crazy today when you look at the situation, when you think about the story that I just told you.
When you see these pictures of the earth and you see there's something wrong, it's obvious, yeah, that something is wrong. I have lots of friends. I like what they say. Yeah, Grandmother Earth is speaking now. Of course, I say that too, but I like it when other people say it too. You know what I mean? We should acknowledge that by taking some time and going out into nature and talking to the earth. We have a sacred song. It's a direction song. And when you face the direction of the earth, The lyrics are something like, look towards the earth, pray to her. Your grandmother is lying there. She wants to hear you. So that's telling you to talk to her. Your grandmother wants to listen to you. She wants you to talk to her. She wants you to make contact with her. And I think we should do that every day, or as much as we can. We don't have to do it just once a day. So we do say something about that. We can do something about it. We are not helpless. Our grandmother Earth is our ally. She gives us everything that we could ever need. So it's okay, to go out there and just talk to the earth and tell her thank you, for everything. It's your grandmother. So visualize this grandmother that she never, never, never turns her back on you. So it's only fair that we turn to her and say thank you and honor her, and by living in a healthy way. Those who work with children, you already know this, because you're imparting knowledge and wisdom. This is what mothers do. And so the grandmother Earth is behind you on that. Tell her anything. Tell her, my partner, he turned gay or lesbian and left. It didn't do anything. I feel real bad. I'm hurt because I didn't cause that. I didn't do anything to influence that. And I'm hurt. I feel betrayed. I feel lied to. You tell this to your grandmother. Tell this to your grandmother Earth. And then cry. If you need to cry, sit on the earth and cry. You have a very strong connection to the grandmother Earth when you sit as close as you can to the earth. As if you're in a sky-rise building, just get on the floor. Just get as close as you can. And then you express everything, your fears, your worries, your concerns, and just tell her, I don't know what to do. Help me find the direction to go. I feel let down. I was living very, very healthy as best as I can, and now this came at me, and I feel punished. Whatever you're feeling, you tell her whatever it is that you're feeling, because she wants to hear that. And when you're doing that, you're releasing, but as you're releasing, the earth is putting energy inside of you to begin the healing process. See what I mean? And when we do this, see, we're making a connection. And even if you're not going through a hard time, let's say everything is good in your life, then go there and still tell her these things and say, I'm really happy. I'm in love, I got a new girlfriend, and I'm very thankful, and I thank you for everything. I thank you for all that you provide to us and everything like that. She wants to hear that too. And that's going to make her feel good. So when we have this communication like this, then we're mindful of each other more so than we were before. And that's what it's about. Listening to nature, sometimes the answer is there. And it's not a word, it's not a sentence, it's not a message, it's just the music of nature. As you listen, there's energy in the music of nature, and it goes inside you, and you're receiving healing. And I don't mean flutes and panpipes and African drums. I don't mean that. I mean actual nature. Wind blowing through the leaves, blowing through trees, and birds singing, things like that. Crickets chirping away, and all that kind of wonderful thing. That's what I mean. Water flowing is another medicine I really like to hear too. Communicating with the earth in any way, it really makes you more aware of nature, and just doing your part is going to really help, because you're not alone. That's why you're not alone. There's a whole bunch of us that are doing the same thing. So this is something that can be done. It's just as powerful as, in fact, it's probably more powerful than what the oil companies are doing. Because what we're sending out is healthy. That's one of the reasons why. So just really talking to the Grandmother Earth. And if you want to call her Mother Earth, that's fine. See, either way is fine. There is no rule on this, yeah? Because in Lakota songs, we say Grandmother Earth because she's an old lady now, yeah? We've been here a long time. But you can regard her as Mother Earth too, because she is still providing for us. So either name is good. Just don't get into a war and say, well, gee, you guys say Grandmother Earth and we say Mother Earth, and we think you're wrong, so we're gonna go to war on you. That's just what's happening on all these religions. That's stupid things like that. What's happening in the world is scary, but you always remember the media is not always reporting everything, and a lot of times it's not even the correct actual event that's happening. So don't let it scare you. Yeah, just go dang, yeah, or whatever your word is. Yeah, mine is dang. So maybe yours is doodles. What was it? I heard another one that really made me laugh. Shut the fridge door? Is that what it's called? Shut the fridge something. Shut the fridge door. Instead of saying shut the fuck up, it's shut the fridge door. I like that kind of cussing. Anyway, just think of the earth. Think of the earth, and because some of us can't go outside. We have disability and we aren't able to go outside. So what you can do is visualize. So much power in visualization. Visualization, you can receive healing power from visualization too, by visualizing the future, what you would like for it to be. That does help. It is power. So you can use that same process, visualizing the earth in front of you, and you talk to her. You can do that too, because you don't always have to be outside. You can visualize and use your memories. This is one of the reasons why we have brains, not just to communicate, but to do these kind of things, to visualize. And from your childhood when you could run and being outside, you just take that image and then hone in on the earth itself and start talking to it. That's so powerful to do. So you don't have to be in the park or up in the mountains or a forest to necessarily do this. You can visualize too. Sometimes I do this when I'm riding the train, getting from one part of the city to the next. I do a little visualize while I'm sitting there waiting for the next stop. Then I get done, get off, and continue on my way. So you just establish that contact, and then you can take it from there. This helps you to deal with dualistic tendencies too. If you're having difficulty with that, this also helps with that. Because like I said, when you think of the earth like this, what you're doing is you're actually putting a medicine inside of yourself It's going to help you to receive inspiration to get answers to problems or things that you're concerned about, solutions and stuff like that. You'll be able to come up with things like that. It's a part of the process to do that. Man's dualistic activities is also influencing the weather. So when you yourself become more of a healthy thinker, like the buffalo, that's a good thing. That's a healthy thing. You have more compassion for those who are going through difficult time, and you send thoughts and prayers to them. That's a really big help. Really. Because reality begins in the mind. The universe was created like that. So that's why when you see a country being hit with war and stuff, and you just think of the children and send thoughts to them. It's energies, healing. Do this in your mind. It's going to affect them in a nice way. We have that power to do so. And you have the power to do it in your own life. Reality begins within. It's a universal concept. This is how all universes were created. And with the same process, you can really deal with difficulties in your life. This is part of using your mind in dealing with difficult times. Expressing the emotion, then bringing your mind in. This is part of that. And part of that is visualizing where you would like this to be and acting like you're there. And then come back to the present moment, and then you can see what needs to be done. See what I mean? You visualize the future the way you would like it to be for a few minutes, and you enjoy it. And when you come back to the present moment, now you have a bigger insight into seeing what the problem is and how to solve it. You're getting that inspiration from the future when you visualize. When doing that process is healing. And this is what we can do for the earth too. And when we do this for the earth, we're really establishing a connection to her and to ourselves, our sacred centers. So we have that bond. And that is so important. It don't matter where you are. All of the earth is our grandmother, not just the so-called sacred sites. I don't believe in that concept. The whole earth is sacred. Sacred sites concept is a dualistic concept. It's the entire earth is sacred. It's just that certain places ceremonies were done, but that doesn't make them better. Okay? Always remember that.